What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Soge Kami. I'm talking about One Piece chapter 1076. Let's just get right into it. No wasted time. This is a sick chapter from beginning to end, seeing Mr. One's Dice Fruit, the Seraphim going ham, Luffy and CP0, them making like an alliance in a little way. And, Shanks also finding out that it is not Vegapunk who is making all of these, who is actually betraying himself. So there's something else at work. So let's get into it right from the beginning. So the first thing that we see is that the Seraphim are attacking CP0, and then CP0 makes reaches their hand out to make an alliance with the Straw Hats to at least finish this battle. And then, Luffy has his Chad moment, Lucci, that, you're not going to beat me. You can't defeat me. So after this, and after I defeat you, hopefully you'll just give up. And then Lucci, basically what we see is Luffy and Lucci are going to have a fight at the end of this battle, and then Lucci will have to learn some respect. Hopefully, I don't know if Lucci will stick to his word and actually fight Luffy, and then if win or lose, he won't go after Luffy's friends, but I guess we'll have to see. It was cool to see the combination attacks, Luffy going to Gear 4th and using, the Kong gun, and then we get the 6-gun pistol, and then we got to see the combination attack between Zoro's Onigiri, and then it was like the White Lightning Tempest Kick or something like that from Kaku. I thought that was a really sick name and like a sick move. I don't know about Kaku's strength right now. Like, Kaku seems to be really strong, but I still have Zoro above Kaku in by a large margin. So next we see the Seraphim. I just want to talk about them real quick. It seems like the narrative that's being pushed is that the prisoners in Impel Down who have devil fruits, all of those devil fruits would be accessible to Vegapunk, being somebody who worked for the Marines, So we see that S-Mihawk, his devil fruit is finally revealed, and he is, we see that S-Hawk's devil fruit is finally revealed. He has Mr. One's Dice Fruit. I think that is a great devil fruit for him being a swordsman, and now he has access to his entire body as a blade. So I just don't know how it's going to work with a sword. Maybe he can, he has kind of an ability similar to Kaku where he can kick air slashes, and then, he can also make slashes with the sword. So basically, at any point, he's going to be able to attack you. Even if you block one of his weapons, he'll be able to kick you. He'll be able to make his fingers into blades, similar to Mr. One did. So he's basically a human weapon. I think that is such a fitting power for him, and I'm really excited. I want to see, this is kind of hyping up Mr. One. So whatever Seraphim Mihawk's going to be able to do, I feel like Mr. One will be able to do it in some way with his power, and we do know he's returning into the story. I'll get back into that later at the end of the chapter, though. I feel like with what we're seeing, we're just really putting a tie to Impel Down really heavy, just because we've seen the Swim fruit, and we've also seen now, the Dice Fruit. So if there are more Seraphim, I just wonder what powers they could have. They could have the Ripple fruit, or maybe the Mane no Mi, the Clone fruit. So these are just different things that are coming into my mind. I'm always about the agenda of seeing Mr. 2. Bon Clay needs to come back into the story. He is such a pivotal role in my mind to me, and he's such an important character. With the talks of even Marco going to Impel Down, I just feel like that is the direction Oda is trying to kind of get us ready for. This is going to be the last speculation I'm going to do about the traitor, because I feel like at this point it's kind of impossible to tell about who it would be. But right now my mind is leaning towards the idea that Punk Records itself has become sentient and is making decisions on its own to help the world government out. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem like any of the Stella Vegapunks, and now we know for sure that it's not the main Vegapunk body that is doing these things. So I just don't really know who it could be, and it's difficult to really put it all together in my mind. I feel like the most realistic choice is that Punk Records itself, a part of Vegapunk, is making decisions on its own and pushing people away. So let's get into the meat of the chapter. At the end, we see Shanks. Shanks is showing up. He's on Elbaf. He's drinking. He's drinking with Dory and Bragi and all of his crewmates. I wouldn't be surprised if Oimo and Kashi, if one of them mentioned Usopp, because the Straw Hat Pirates are a big deal nowadays. So Yasop's there, Usopp's there. I just want to see what they would say about him, calling him a god. Like, I want to see Yasop's expectation of Usopp go up, and then kind of I want to see it played with how he actually sees Usopp when they actually do meet. You know, One Piece Film Red, Yasop kind of like was like playing at Usopp, saying like, of course, like, I know your hockey. I can already tell that your hockey's super good. Like, I can't. How did it take you so long to notice that I was like reaching out to you with my hockey? So like, and then what we actually get in the manga when Yasop talks about Usopp in Wano at the end, he was saying he was like nervous to meet him. So like in Film Red, he seemed like he was like more confident about talking to Usopp, but then in the actual story, he was like really nervous. So I'm just really curious about that dynamic. I feel like Oda hasn't been playing into that dynamic very much, and that's something I'm super excited to know about because, you know, Yasop has a bad rep. I just want to know like if that. I want to know what the deal is with Yasop and Usopp. And Usopp hasn't been getting very much shine in the last couple of arcs. He hasn't really gotten a fight. He hasn't really had a chance to truly outsmart somebody. So I feel like there is some Usopp glow up on the way. Between Ben Beckman, it's kind of implied by Killer and by Lucky Roo that Ben Beckman took Kid's arm. But I feel like that is... I don't feel like that's very One Piece-like to say that Ben Beckman like ripped off Kid's arm. I see a lot of people making comparisons to Shanks and Kid. They both have a scar over their eye, red hair, and both missing an arm. But I want to point out the difference in their missing arms because although they're both missing, like Shanks is missing his left shoulder down, you know, his whole arm is off. But Kid, he's missing his elbow down. So it's like halfway there. I think what makes the most sense to me is that Ben Beckman defeated Kid, and as he was trying to imprison Kid, Kid cut his own arm off. Similar to how when Pedro killed himself and Nekomamushi and Carrot blamed Perospero, and it wasn't really Perospero's decision, that was a decision that Nekomamushi made himself. I feel like Kid is, you know, took his own arm and then he blames the red hair pirates. So, like, maybe, in my mind, what makes the most sense is, you know, as they were taking Kid into captivity, Kid cut his own arm off, escaped, and then now he, like, they just let him go out of respect for what he had done. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's willpower is so strong. He had the power to actually cut his own arms off. And you remember also in Whole Cake Island, when Luffy wanted to go save Sanji after he found out that Pudding was going to betray them, you know, he was going to rip his own arms off just to tell Sanji. He was willing to, like, go through all that type of pain just to let Sanji know that Pudding is going to betray him. So, like, I feel like that is more the story that Oda would write instead of Ben Beckman just shot Kid's arms off and Kid ran away. That doesn't make sense. I feel like Kid refused to have his willpower beaten down. And then, you know, just going forward into with this idea, I feel like that is, like... Although we might see a clash between Shanks and Kid, I feel like Shanks is going to do what Kaido couldn't do, and that's going to break Kid's willpower. He's gonna subjugate Kid, similar to a way that Doflamingo subjugated Bellamy. And Bellamy, you know, kind of fallen under Doflamingo's wing. I feel like Shanks is going to take Kid under his wing. Maybe Shanks will say, like, I see something in you remind me of me, something like that. But Shanks has always been about the kids. We've seen it in this earlier in this chapter where he's talking to the giant kid. You see it with Film Red. You see it with Luffy. Shanks has been somebody who thematically has always had an impact on people. And I just wonder what Shanks' impact was on Kid. Maybe Kid looked at him and he said, he looks like me. I don't know. But I just feel like it's deeper than Kid just wanted to defeat the Yonko. And that was it. Like, Ben Beckman just shot his arm off because he said, you can't defeat the Yonko, you can't see my captain. I feel like there's a deeper story there, and that like, that wouldn't go with the narrative of what we know about the red hair pirates. Like, they wouldn't just take someone's arm off. Like, they're the type of people who we see are more willing to let somebody go. Like I said, I think it's more closer that they defeated Kid for, like, acting out. Kid took his own arm off to escape because he didn't want to be a prisoner to nobody. in the next chapter, I was kind of saying this earlier. In the next chapter, I hope that what we keep seeing is it's going to different groups. We keep seeing the Yonko group, the Straw Hats, and then we've seen the Yonko group, Blackbeard Pirates, now the Yonko group, Shanks Pirates. This is all in Egghead. So in Egghead, we haven't seen the Yonko group, the Cross Guild. That was the last Yonko group. And that's who I want to see the most of. Hopefully we get some more, we're going to get some more stuff about the Marines arriving at Egghead. I don't know what they can really do if the Straw Hats are locked in Punk Records at the top with a barrier. But maybe as the Marines arrive, the Punk Records will put its own barriers down. I'm not sure. But I want to see what's going to happen to the Marines, and I want to see Cross Guild. I want to see Mr. One do something. And I'm hoping that, you know, we've seen Marco make alliances with like the Big Mom Pirates for a short amount of time in Wano, then with Straw Hats for a short amount of time. Maybe for some reason or another, Marco makes an alliance with the Cross Guild and they all go to Impel Down together. That is just something that appeared into my mind. I feel like Cross Guild would want to go to Impel Down just because of the people who are there. We're seeing a resurgence of Baroque Works, and Bon Clay is a Baroque Works agent, and I feel like that would be, they would be willing to go down into Impel Down to go get him back, because especially since espionage and that type of thing is what Crocodile is about, Bon Clay would be a massive help to them. Also, with like everything going on in the world, it's kind of like crazy, and we do know that Doflamingo is there. I can see Doflamingo joining in Cross Guild to just make that group even stronger. Doflamingo, yeah, I see a lot of things that could happen, but either way, I just want to see what Cross Guild is doing in the next chapter, because we do know where everyone is kind of headed right now, or maybe even there could be a fight. There could be a fight with, I feel like Mihawk would defeat anybody in a fight, but I feel like there just could be something more there. Anyway, thank you guys. Let me know what you guys think is going to be coming out in 1077. What you guys think about chapter 1076. I think it's ultimately a banger. Do you think that kid took his own arm, or do you think that Ben Beckman really just shot off this kid's arm and let him run right away free? Thank you so much for watching,